What's going on, everyone? Today, we're going to talk about Formula One. Now, you might not have heard of Formula One before, but my guess is that you have, at least from someone and somewhere in your life, because it's a huge sport and it has global recognition. But what is the genius of Formula One, and why is it taking the world by storm? Well, first, one main reason for the success is that the races go on across the world. It's not limited to one country or one area of the globe. It takes place in multiple continents and 20 plus countries, which inevitably is going to bring a lot of different fans into the sport. In addition, the drivers are from all over the world. Even if there isn't a race in your home country, there might be a driver. Many times, too, having a driver will bring an entire country into the sport because they want to support their team even more than just having a race. But the true genius of Formula One is not the number of races or the locations. In my opinion, the true genius of Formula One is the number of drivers and who they are. If you don't know, Formula One is comprised of 20 different drivers competing for 10 different teams. Compared to other sports where there's 20, 30 plus teams with 11 players, 10 players, 15 players, whatever it is on the team, there are hundreds upon hundreds of players in that one league. It's impossible to follow every single person, especially as a new fan. But Formula One limits itself to only 20 players or 20 drivers. Because of this, it's pretty easy to figure out the personalities, the rivalries, the dynamic between each person and then also each team. Having 20 drivers sets itself up well to paint a compelling narrative beyond the races on track. There's a whole world to explore in Formula One that's outside the track. People chasing championships, teams filing for penalties against other teams. The list goes on and on. Once someone's invested, even though there are only races every week, every 2 weeks, maybe even every 3 weeks, there's so much going on behind the scenes that people stay invested and makes each race even more high stakes. Formula One is partially a reality show. Every driver is trying to grab the attention of sponsors and fans so they stay in Formula One. Since there's only 20 seats, it's so easy to get kicked out if you don't have money, if you don't have popularity, because there's a bunch of drivers below you dying to get their chance to drive in a Formula One car. It is the pinnacle of motorsport. When fans see two drivers battling for track position, there's a story behind that battle. There's previous instances. Did they crash before? Are they close in the drivers' championship? There's so many things that are taken into account beyond just the track position. This also makes every spot tell a story. If someone doesn't know anything about Formula One, they may be only focusing on who's getting first place. But if you know Formula One, and it doesn't take that long to know Formula One, which is the beauty of it, every single position matters because your team might be fighting against a different team in the championship for third in the Drivers' Championship or fourth in the Drivers' Championship. There's top table teams, mid-table, bottom table. There are all of these dynamics working with one another to create a compelling story that has multiple layers beyond who's winning and who's the number one in the Drivers' Championship. Even teams that aren't doing well, they can celebrate, oh, they got a point. That might only be a 10th place. But if a team that doesn't usually score points gets 10th place, the fans of that team are going to be super happy. This simple entryway into the sport that allows for multiple stories to be told within one race makes Formula One an exciting event. Too many people dismiss racing as boring because, oh, they just drive around a circuit. And whoever wins, wins. Oh, and one team might be dominant, so who cares? They're going to win anyway. But that view is so unsophisticated. There's so much more to be taken from the sport. Lastly, something I want to touch on is Formula One's entrance into the United States. A big push of the new leadership in Formula One is to reach the American audience. The American audience has lots of money, and Formula One is a business. So targeting people in America would be a good business move. Some of the things that Formula One has done is the Netflix series Drive to Survive. That Netflix series has drawn in so many new supporters of Formula One because it easily tells a story that, oh, this is a reality show. Because people might not be originally watching Formula One at all because they think it's just racing. But Drive to Survive gave a window into the reality series type drama that occurs in Formula One. In addition, F1's trying to push their F1 TV. And so they're offering a lot of free content to people on the internet in English. So targeting a lot of Americans that lets them easily access information about what's going on in Formula One, what the technology is like, what the relationships between drivers are, interviews with the drivers before and after the race, which makes people become even more invested in the sport. And people that are invested in the sport are going to want every single detail that they can. And that's only available through F1 TV Pro. In addition, Formula One is adding a new race to the calendar in Miami. This is just another way of trying to gain a foothold in America. Beyond the race in Austin, there will also be one in Miami, which is 2 of the races on the calendar, a significant portion. I think F1's commitment to America and expanding in America is only going to grow. And in my opinion, I think it's going to work because beyond other racing, Formula One is special. It's the fastest cars with the best drivers and the most drama on and off the track. And who doesn't want that? So if you haven't watched Formula One, this is not a sponsor, but check it out. It's a very exciting race. There's a story to be had, and every single person can find something that's exciting about Formula One. If you do choose to go watch it, I hope you enjoy. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys.